Indeed you are. The Last League podcast with Boys Get Paid. I'm Louis Herman Watt. Luke Kemeys is with me, and this is the first Last League podcast. Thank you to the great man Darren Flindell, first of all, for offering up his voice. It's good to already have the backing of one of the industry's greats first up. Again, Louis, work at Radio Sport usually, but the Boys Get Paid movement is too much to avoid. It's too much to not get involved in. Why are we here? What's our mandate? Simple. To give racing back to the people who in many ways prop it up. The stakeholders, the punters, the people, you on the live stream with Boys Get Paid, you listening to the podcast wherever you are in the future. We will throughout the spring be coming to you with podcasts with feature interviews with the key figures, insights and humour from hopefully ourselves, and maybe even a few winning tips from our trusted experts. Right now, we're set up in the stunning Chairman's Lounge at the Big E, the Big Easy, Ellerslie. Huge shout out to Paul Wilcox for accommodating us as usual. He gets it, that man. He gets it. We are streaming live on Facebook, as I mentioned, so hopefully you're tuned in. And if people are listening during the podcast platforms, remember to give us a subscribe. You're not going to want to miss a podcast. iTunes, iHeartRadio, Spotify, wherever you are, give us a subscribe. Later on in this episode, we're going to be taking an in-depth look at the Foxbridge Plate. That's this Saturday. That's why we're starting now. We'll be joined by one of the very intelligent and lucky owners of Te Rapa Shark over from Aussie. It's Chris Russell joining the show. We'll have some of the best bets and heaps more banter. And we really want to call her to join the show. We desperately actually want to call her to join the show and give us one of their bets. We want you to pitch us a punt. That sounds catchy, actually. Pitch us a punt. So make sure you're ready for that. Before we kick off and get bogged down by our self-inflated egos, I just wanted to quickly say thanks to Windsor Park Stud for jumping on board with the Last League pod. And I'm sure a few of you would already know about this gym, but just to kick the racing chat off straight away, I wanted to mention how good Airborne out of Charm Spirit was last weekend at Flemington, winning his second of two starts there. Windsor Park sold the Caulfield Guineas contender from their draft. And if you want to go see Charm Spirit in the flesh with the other Windsor Stallions, head down the stud, have a special public parade Saturday 25th of August just before midday. Everyone is welcome, and they've even tipped us off that they're sure they can find a few of the lads a few beers. Way to go, Windsor Park Stud. All right, I think that's all of the admin covered. It's a big podcast. My friend Luke Kemeys next to me is gagging to go. Benny Masters, I think he's better than Peter Jackson. He's got more camera angles than Peter Jackson, so I've heard. Let's get into it.
It's going to get desperate.
What a time to be loving a bit of racing. I think this is the most nervous I've been doing a podcast, mate. You're making me sweat over here. There's more cameras than Peter Jackson's, as we said before. We've got some good racing coming up. I'm just excited about where the spring's going to take us for racing. We've got the big talking point in Te Rapa Shark. The Foxbridge is kicking off this weekend. We made a commitment with BGP to start creating some more quality content, and so we've probably outdone ourselves here with good surroundings, good smart people, different camera angles, a couple of beers in the background as always, but there's always lots going on for us. We've got the app coming up, which was hopefully going to be finished this week, but doesn't look like it will be. We've got the Punter Group coming up, Crack a Million, things that we'll talk about later, but it just feels like it's an exciting time to be involved with racing, with what's going on in the landscape and going on out there. Of course, Rita have taken control of the racing board, so the board's gone, Rita are in charge. You've got a different level of thinking that's now in play. So I think the whole industry is sitting on a tipping point going, shit, which way is it going to go? And I think that's exciting, and we want to show and create some excitement around that and some positivity and be doing some cool things in that space. And it's just good to see some of these good horses coming back, especially as you start to dip into the winter and have to start betting on the harness again. No ill feeling towards the harness, but it can get tough, and it can get tough on those wet tracks out there. But when you start reading some of the content of these amazing horses that are coming back, and the Group 1s are getting closer down there at Hastings, the Triple Crown, it's hard not to get excited about racing.
I think you bang on. I wanted to argue with you first up. We're here. It's our first podcast. There's tension in the room, and I was hoping you were to come in.
Something controversial.
With something that Owen Gutenberg could swinging arm over the top, but I don't know. That was just bang on, mate. I couldn't agree with you more, to be honest. Look, everything you guys do and you've been about since you started is trying to help the industry. You're not a threat. We're not here to take over in Las Vegas like Conor McGregor and his mates and cause a ruckus. We're here to help, and we're here to kind of put a shot of life back into it. So, I mean, I can't agree more. I think this is going to be a huge spring, isn't it?
Yep, contribution, collaboration, the 3 C's, of course, content. We love that. We've been banging on about that for years now, and we're trying to do more of it. We've had the punters clinic last night, which was really well received, and just putting out more quality content. And I think if some of the other areas of the industry can embrace it too, we're only going to see more growth and good trajectory.
Here's a word.
Can we spell that?
No.
Wouldn't worry about it for this next season. So I'm excited to see where we end up in 12 months' time.
How good is it? And how good is it to be here at Ellerslie? You look out and you just think back to some of the memories we've already had involved with the Karaka Millions and other great race meets. This spring, moving into the summer, it's going to be absolutely epic.
And Bone Crusher races into equine immortality.
Well, why we are here and what we're going to get into is the Foxbridge Plate. I guess that's the first step. That is where we are, and that's what we're kicking off with this spring at least. It's not even springtime, but it feels like it is. The palms are sweaty, the hands are clammy because the excitement of great racing is not far away. This fairly iconic race has been run since 1950 down at Te Rapa. Last 3 winners, just to quickly give you a bit of context. 2016, it was Saraceno. 17, it was Under the Moonlight. You'll remember that horse. I'm sure many people do. And last year, of course, it was Miss Bell. It was Melody Bell beating Julius by just a nose. You remember that?
I remember that. Yeah.
What's the wince?
Oh, look, I went down, had a fair go at Julius.
You did?
Yeah. Didn't realise how good Melody Bell was at that stage. And we threw sort of everything at Julius, thinking that he was going to be winning early and that Melody Bell would probably have a go in the first Group 1 of the season. So that winces my wallet still trying to recover, mate.
Was it hefty? Was it
yeah,
sizable?
And it was just so close.
Yeah, well, that's it. A nose, and you're right. I mean, I think back to that Melody Bell. Yeah, a really, really quality horse, but nobody had any idea the form she showed last spring and summer, starting down in kind of Hawke's Bay and then moving back up into Auckland was going to happen. Well, actually, people will say they predicted it, but I mean, for me, and you obviously too, it was hard. It wasn't.
Yeah. Oh, we weren't backing her first up, that's for sure. But no, full credit, and she went on to show us how good she is.
So the 2019 edition of the Foxbridge Plate down at Te Rapa, well, there's 2 heavy storylines here, right? It's obvious. Te Rapa Shark, what do you even say about this? I don't know. We're going to get into it because we're going to be joined by a very special guest, and I don't want to cut his mustard. I don't want to cut his cheese and talk about his horse because we've got the owner, Chris Russell, coming on the podcast. But Te Rapa Shark's a superstar, and he's going to be a superstar all spring. We're so excited for what he could do. And again, Melody Bell is coming back to defend her throne. 2 ripping horses, but it doesn't drop off from there. There's every chance Endless Drama and Helena Baby could play some sort of role at a wet or heavy Te Rapa track, what it will be. And if you're not sold on the quality of field yet, bear in mind, let me just rattle off some names for you. Consensus, Santa Monica, Authentic Paddy, and Sentimental Miss are all Group 1 winners. So if you go through that field now, Luke, and we look at some of the opening odds, Te Rapa Shark, $2.20, Authentic Paddy, $81. So straight away you can see the jump in what I guess the form says, and I guess the quality of horse. Melody Bell has, I think, opened at 380. Yes, she has. So any surprise to see Te Rapa Shark so short, and any surprise to see Melody Bell a wee bit back? Yeah,
I thought that Melody Bell might be a little bit shorter. I think, if I was a bookmaker, I'd be scared. I think at the moment we don't know how good Te Rapa Shark is, and I think we're probably going to find out on Saturday just how good he may be. I think there's a lot of suspicion as to how good he is. That $2.20 could end up being absolute value.
Sure.
You've got options around him winning a Group 1 in the season, paying $2.50. Well, you'd probably rather back him at $2.20 in the Foxbridge and try and get your money early than waiting for a Group 1. But
totally.
You never know. This is it's one of those races where we thought the same thing about Julius, and then you get an absolute competitor like Melody Bell turn up on her day. You've got to get everything go your way in this race when you're a hot favourite, and things still have to fall into place. So $3.80, I thought it's still quite good money for Melody Bell. They've both drawn out. And then, of course, Helena Baby around the $5 mark, or $4.60, might have even shortened up a touch.
Precisely. So Helena Baby is someone I want to talk about with John Bell. And then also Tony Pike has Endless Drama in this one. And two horses that are very, very, very capable of causing a bit of trouble. Endless Drama at $6.50 and $2.10 for a place. That $2.10 for a place, I'm sure, is going to entice a lot of people. Leith Innes on board there. One thing I want to talk about, and this was a Punters Club tip, jockeys choosing horses.
Yep.
Opie Bosson. What would you call Opie Bosson? The
Messiah, maybe? I don't know. Yeah.
He's got the lads home a few times. There's only one Opie Bosson.
He can pick him, yeah.
So when he picks, and he gets the pick, doesn't he? He gets the pick of the Tangerines. When he picks Te Rapa Shark, does that straight away, and I know Goat and Neil were talking about this last night, does that straight away make you kind of flinch and go, okay, maybe we should take a lot of interest in this?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what the process has been there and where these two are going next, but you know that Opie is going to be chasing the biggest win of every race every season. So what he's picking is usually a good line. If he's not on the best horse in the race, there's usually a story behind that. So I think this will just be the start of his more of an affiliation with the horse for where it goes on to next.
Okay.
So, yeah, I think we'll see him winning on Saturday and then probably flying the plane over to Australia straight from there. So he might even swim.
Well, this is I'm looking forward to this, because when we get to chat right now, we're next up to Chris Russell, a part owner, and by all accounts, a total weapon. He loves the Auckland nightlife, and we'll ask him about the circuit he went on last night. I think he was feeling okay this morning, but probably not 100. And we can ask him all these questions about Te Rapa Shark. As I said, he is the prohibited favourite. Can I just clarify? I did hear this right. Paul Wilcox said that this is going to be the race of the spring in New Zealand, didn't he?
Yeah, the country's second best CEO in racing has suggested that this would be the race of the spring already.
Not even spring.
I think the little man's just a little bit fired up too early about,
It's
good to see the excitement.
He's like the Michael Vaughan of horse racing. Everything's the greatest of all time and everything will be the best of all time. Nah, I mean, look, the man knows his stuff and you got to respect it. He makes good points. You look at I spoke about it before, the depth of this race. It's epic, but I'm looking forward to seeing what Chris Russell's got to say.
Should I dial him in and see?
I think we should. I mean, this is such good technology. We can literally call.
We'll try it,
You have a crack.
We'll trial it.
Let's see.
Yeah, like you say, there's some absolutely stellar horse flesh in this race, and I think it's great to see these people getting them all involved early. This sounds like an Aussie number.
How good is this? Well, he's an Aussie bloke with a fascination from Daddy Dillons, I hear. Come on, Chris.
He's brushed us.
He wouldn't have.
Hello.
Chris Russell.
How you doing?
Yeah, very, very well, mate. I love the pause. Leave us hanging. Luke and Louis from Boys Get Paid. Benny's behind the cameras. How you doing, man?
Doing great, mate. We got into Auckland yesterday and went and enjoyed some of the viaduct specialties, but doing very well, mate.
Yeah, so that's what I hear. You there was a sighting on the viaduct of an Australian weapon trolleying around, and he might have ended up in one certain Double D Danny Doolan's in the small hours.
Well, it's just a magnet, isn't it? It's a real problem. I have to correct you on something. I sound Australian, but I'm English. And I'd like you Kiwis, hate being called an Australian. It's just not good.
Oh, fuck the
Not
Aussies,
great
mate.
sports people, so.
It's good to know, mate.
Exactly.
So
Exactly. Thank you.
you bring your money over here and spend it before taking some of ours in terms of the prize money. How confident are you that you're going to get the thick end of it and win the race on Saturday?
Oh, look, to be honest, we're just happy to have him back after all the sort of niggles he's had. Look, we're excited. We're mug punters and we'll be backing him and we own him and love him. Jamie and Dave are probably being a bit more conservative, saying first run back and drawn 11. So, but, Opie being up on top is a good thing. He knows how to steer him and knows how to steer him pretty well. So, look, we're pretty excited and we hope he brings home the chocolates and we'll be there cheering him. Just seeing him flashing home late will be what we want to see for obviously what he's got in store later in Sydney.
You're not selling us, so I'll ask a different question. What time did you start drinking yesterday? Because someone put $10,000 on it around 4 p.m. in the afternoon, so you don't have to give us a yes
Well, it
or a
wasn't
no.
any of us.
It wasn't? Oh.
Well, no, because the guy who would do that, Steve Mace, he doesn't land. He's actually on the plane here now. So we all sort of him because he always jumps in and steals the good odds and puts the big money on and screws all of us over. So we all thought he'd done it to us again, but it wasn't him this time. So.
Well,
obviously, there's a New Zealander who's excited.
I think it could be one of the Boys Get Paid community, and I think they're going to get them to out themselves. Remember, comment along. We're on the Facebook Live now. If you actually got any quick questions you want to get through to Chris, let us know and we'll poise them to him. Tell me about the ownership group you've got there. For the people that are unacquainted with this absolute superstar, how many of there are you, and what sort of makeup? Because I understand there is an athlete involved.
Yeah, so there's on the Aussie side, so Steve Mace met Dave in Hawaii on a holiday a few years back. He's my business partner. And he took, I think, 66% of the horse and split it up amongst 6 of us. So 6 English Aussies in the group. And then Dave syndicated the rest with New Zealand owners. Jim Hepburn's the one I know the best. But, yeah, I think you're referring to the guy who's about 83 and still playing for Cronulla. Poor Gallen. So, he's so tired he's still going around to get a paycheck. So the boys in the owner syndicate told me to tell you that he owns a toenail. We keep cutting it off, but like fungus, it keeps growing back. So he's just there to be in the limelight. Every inch there, like he owns it.
That's outstanding. He just loves a bit of attention, does he?
I was in Darwin last week. And
he's unbelievable. He whinges about the fees every week. I've got to pay for training fees, and as soon as there's a camera, anywhere Gallen, he's unbelievable.
Brilliant. That is brilliant.
Oh, that's outstanding. I was in Darwin.
I'm only saying that because I'm in New Zealand. He'll kill me when he hears
Oh,
it.
he'll be listening too, mate. I was in Darwin the other day, and they were all saying, Gal's in a good horse from New Zealand. So they're all talking about it. And you guys are growing the profile of what the Shark's doing too. And that's awesome when you've got the Twitter account set up for Te Rapa Shark and people want to follow that, which is pretty cool and something that people probably don't do that much back home. So it's good to see, giving us a bit of a lesson in social media there. And, I think we're pinning a lot of our hopes with our racing on this horse. So are you guys feeling any pressure around that?
Oh, a little bit, I suppose. But we're enjoying it as well. I think when he first won and I think it was his win at Matter when he circled the field, we decided to set up the Instagram and we were sort of laughing that Winks had one, so we said, stuff it, we'll have our own. Dreaming as all horse owners and mug punters do, which is essentially what we are, mug punters. So we got into it, and a little bit, but we're just excited. Like, it's the unknown, isn't it? I mean, he's reeling off sectionals that are just pretty impressive, and everyone's excited, and there's been a bit of a hype about him since we got him. Look, we're hopeful. I've done the Cox Plates and big Bramwick days all my life and love going there. To have a horse that's actually going to be involved, touch wood, he stays nice and sound, and have a pretty good winning chance is pretty outstanding, isn't it? And for the Kiwis to go over and beat the Aussies, fantastic.
So that was my next question, and I wasn't sure how cagey you were going to be about it, but it sounds like you guys are bullish on this guy. I mean, we know he's a star, but you are straight away. The Cox Plate's the target, and you want to win it, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the Epsom's the one that Dave's wanted to win a big handicap with him, so he's been very careful with us, and if you want to, the professional answer, you talk to Jamie and Dave, so I'm talking as an owner who gets excited and overrates his horse, as everyone does. But the Epsom's sort of the main target, and that's the one with a handicap weight. You think, if he comes up as good as we think he is, we think he's going to be pretty hard to beat in that. He's already favourite, I think, so a few of us have already loaded into that, if that's what you're looking for. So we're all on the Epsom already. And then the Cox is kind of that dream race, isn't it? I don't think you could sit here and be too confident with the Cox because, what a field they get. The international runners, the best Aussies have to offer. And there could be a few Kiwis going over as well this year, as well as us. So that's just, just to have a starter in that's got half a chance, which is dream time stuff, isn't it? It's amazing.
Oh, for sure, mate. And, obviously you have Mystic Journey in there. I think they're having to do some rebuild of the Cox Plate after four goes of Winks selling the tickets for them. So that's great hype. I love the hype that you guys are bringing around how passionate and excited you are to make that race, because that is the shit that people get in behind and do get excited about. And that's how we get our hearts broken when we do get let down, but that's what gets us so brought into the sport and the excitement of it for the next time. So I think it's a great play, mate. Good on you.
No, absolutely, and it's funny. Steve's on his way over here, my business partner. We've been talking all week. neither of us have been able to sleep for a week. Just the comeback race this week, like all the boys are saying the same. We've got our little WhatsApp group. Everyone's saying they're dreaming about the Shark every night. So you're right, we get so passionate and excited about. I think that comes through with the way we jump around like idiots when you see us after races. So yeah, it's great to be passionate, but yeah, you're always wary that your heart can get broken in a second. But that's sport, isn't it? It doesn't matter if it's horse racing or proper sport.
Hey, Chris, there's two things I never want to hear you talk about ever again. And that's the content of that WhatsApp group and whatever happens in your dreams, mate. You stick to the Shark, and we'll stick to the punting.
Well, we did ask the question. The bloke who said he dreamt about the Shark, we did ask what the hell were you doing in the Shark in the dream. So you have to come back to it.
Love it.
We'll keep that amongst ourselves.
Yeah, love the energy, mate. And you're down on track on Saturday, aren't you?
Yeah, absolutely. We've been fortunate. Dave's invited myself, Matt, who you guys have been talking to, and Steve Mace. We're going down to Dave's farm on Friday night, and having been there with Luke and Ben and completely drunk with you guys down there, pretty good night. So we'll probably come to the track a little bit tasty, but they'll be fine, and then we'll back up on Saturday and cheer our boy on.
Absolutely outstanding. Yeah, I'd almost forgotten about that night.
That's too good.
Well, that was today. I was meant to go down to Hastings in the plane. Yeah. We got plugged in at Auckland, so I drove to the farm, and yeah, I think we all forgot the last half of that night anyway. I remember it being a bit ropey. Two collects, mate. You got the win and you got to meet us. So
three collects.
Yeah.
No, that's great, mate. Hey, thanks, Chris. We really do appreciate your time, and we're absolutely rooting. We don't want to pick favourites, but I mean, if we tip them, we will actually pick a favourite. To be fair, that's exactly what we'll do. Well, we're backing Shark all spring, and we're really excited for the time ahead. So thanks so much for your time, and all the best.
No, thanks, boys. Really appreciate it. And I better say, I was only joking about Gal. Great play.
Good stuff. Cheers, Chris, mate. Absolute champion. Thanks for your time, mate. Good luck while you're here, and good luck for the rest of the campaign. No doubt we will cross paths before he wins the Cox Plate, and probably on the day too.
Fantastic, chaps. Have a great day.
See you, bud. Cheers.
How good is that, Luke? Initial reactions is, how about a horse owner being so bullish of the kind of things that their horse can achieve? And why not? You've got an absolute superstar on your hands. That's very cool, isn't it?
Yeah, do love that. A lot of energy there. It's, very exciting. It must be like they're obviously just on a huge journey and on a huge ride, which is awesome to see.
How good is that? Anyway, we're talking about Te Rapa Shark. And actually, before we finish talking about Te Rapa Shark, it would be totally remiss of us not to mention our great mates at Windsor Park Stud and their connection to this freak. Luke, do you know who the Shark sire is?
Rip Van Winkle.
Bang on, Rip Van Winkle. Where would you find him these days?
Windsor. Got him.
You're too good.
Good?
You're too good. Windsor Park Stud.
Flying the flag for Rip Van Winkle.
Get around them. Actually, that is a real treat for them.
Fantastic.
Ben, you're away.
Bit of feedback here from the forums, guys. People tuning in. Actually, no one's commented, so that's fantastic.
Great feedback.
Thanks, everyone, for joining in once again and for all your voracious comments.
Yeah.
Back to you guys in the studio.
No, you're staying here because that's not good enough. And that's our fault. We need to do a better job. I suppose the key point is it's a funny week, this one. We're doing this in the middle of the day, and we're probably going to be looking to do it in the evenings most of the time, aren't we?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Generally speaking, we'll probably do it in the evenings. Pretty busy people.
Yeah, and then once again, Facebook traffic, we understand how that works. So, look, right now, we're banking on people listening through iHeartRadio, Spotify, iTunes, the Last League podcast, Boys Get Paid, search those and have a listen. But we're going to be having feedback, aren't we?
We're definitely going to be having feedback, and I do have to apologise. We did have a signal drop here, so I'll talk to Paul about the Wi-Fi service at Ellerslie. Pretty appalling, but there you go.
Slacking on the budget.
Actually, Paul, quickly, do you have any feedback, mate?
There are comments on here, Ben.
Oh, signal drop.
Oh,
okay, dearie me.
Where are you, please? Are you here at the ARC?
Oh, come on, guys.
What was that on?
That's okay. Look, we don't need desperately.
Makes me thirsty.
Good.
Makes me thirsty. Oh, jeez. Okay, all right. That's enough out of that. I'm killing you, Mike, Ben. Hey, thanks for your feedback, mate.
Yeah, always a pleasure. Never a chore.
Outstanding. Hey, the surroundings look good here, don't they? Brilliant.
Have you got it up on the screen, do you?
Yeah, I've hopefully my volume's down. Go the Big E on the spot. Stella in the middle there. Someone's left their bottle here from last night by the looks.
The valley's rocking and the world is knocking.
Indeed it was. That was Winks only just, I think, 2 years ago that call was, and we were just talking about it then. The Shark, Te Rapa Shark, hopefully is the guy that might be able to get it done for the Kiwis the next time around. Hey, you did a punters clinic last night. We are going to be looking for great tips. There's no one commenting, so I'm not going to even bother calling for a call, but we want to get some talkback going. I think that's going to be more of an evening thing if I'm picking up the vibe. But you did a punters clinic last night, and you had two of the fan favourites, the Goat and the Ted.
Neil Davis.
Neil Davis.
Ted wasn't there. That's right.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Neil Davis, not Ted. Neil Davis was there. And it ended up going quite well because I've had people today tell me that they heard it and they tuned in and they picked up something.
Yeah, we got some phenomenal reach. I think one thing that's proven is that live content gets a lot of eyeballs and engagement, so it was exciting to see. And people got a lot out of it. People learnt a lot. People reflected on a little bit about, oh, maybe I need to stop my midweek punting or my rash bloody gall the dog punting or whatever and take it a little bit more seriously. But, I mean, it's all a bit of fun, but education's the key, obviously. So I sat down this morning with Neil and asked him, how do we know how good Te Rapa Shark is just yet? And he basically said that from some of the sectionals that he's reviewed, that he can reel them off and he's a super freak and that he's come back and looks a more relaxed horse, looks stronger and just looks like more of an athlete than he already is. So maybe that $2.20 is a gift. I spoke to Ted last night and asked would we be backing him. He wanted $2.50, so he's getting a bit greedy.
Oh, Ted.
He's getting a bit greedy, but maybe he'll drift out to that if we can find it. But
well, you're looking here and you're looking at the play. Do you have it? You've got a best bet from Ted? Do you have one lingering? Or?
I don't, but he said he's got a few that he likes. He just wanted to sort the fields out to an exact order before getting too vocal. I think he's starting to feel the personality and the profile he's built for himself now, which is good. But they'll obviously be up on BGP and the website and everywhere we can plaster them come this great race day on Saturday at Te Rapa.
The man is very diligent, but I'm looking at this field and I'm trying to work out, we've got the odds in front of me, I'm trying to work out what the play is because it's probably not Helena Baby at $4.60.
No, I wouldn't be backing that.
And $1.65 for a place, again, it's probably just a little bit short for a great field to kind of be thinking that if you assume, and I know a lot of people are already, that Te Rapa Shark and Melody Bell are going to be somewhere in the front four, which is probably a safe-ish idea, right? Are you with me?
So, yeah.
You're looking at what the play would be, and Endless Drama at $2.10, that's probably something that I might think about. But Te Rapa Shark at $2.20, $2.50, how much more do you want? $2.20 is not...
Teddy, he was gonna have for anybody listening, he was gonna have the BGP 10 grand or 9.5. Troy Scanlon has a bet for us in the harness this week. 9.5 grand on the schnozzer of Te Rapa Shark. So he obviously likes him. Neil likes him. Everybody likes him. I think, I'll be having a bet and I'll be backing Te Rapa Shark, and I'll flip the coin knowing that in 1 and 2 runs, he may not win this race, but you'd think that 50 out of 100 times he could be winning this race. But you've got, like I said earlier, you've got to get everything go your way. We do have a best bet today from Newcastle coming from a good source close to the Snowden camp.
Whoa, okay, there's a bombshell. We need like a bombshell sting. I don't have one.
Well, maybe for next week.
Bombs away, yeah.
However, we did hear that we'd want to back it around the $2 mark. I think it was around $2, but it's into $1.85 when I last looked. But that's today. A little bit of beer money for tonight, Friday, Saturday. Newcastle, race 4, number 1. Didn't write down what it was called, actually, but race 4, number 1.
Nice.
Yeah, I can't remember what it's called.
Doesn't matter.
Got it loosely there. And then I'm off to Sydney on Friday.
So this is the question I've been wanting to ask this whole podcast.
Shit.
Who is the BGP travel agent? Why is it that Ben is here slogging away behind the cameras, more camera angles than Peter Jackson, and you're jet setting wearing the BGP logo? Is it time that you share? I know you took Goat on your last junket, but where's the love?
Look, I've got a bigger credit card than Ben, so I've told him.
Oh,
Get the fuck out of here!
I've told him what he needs to do to sort of rort the limit, and he's working on that, and hopefully he'll be able to come to the other side of that. But it's expensive having a partner as well, and the duty free on both sides of the trip as well, so I don't have to worry about that sort of stuff. So she's tougher, but. No, I'm going over to see a mate over there, and then the Rhino's horse has coincidentally been nommed for the day. So that's in race number 4 at well, it's the Kensington races on Saturday, but Randwick effectively. So we've got to put the old blazer on, tie on. Rhino reckons he's got a little Rhino bow tie almost. Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah, Rhino socks, all sorts.
So
undies.
what's the deal? Will we just be backing Rhino's horse for the sake of it, or is it actually in with a shot?
The way he's talked it up during the week, I thought it was going to open $2, but it's paying about $6.50, $8.50. But it'd be worth a little each way. And I think the key is just to tune in on Saturday, because we're going to be going live from the mounting yard, going live during the race, going live bloody anywhere. We're going to be doing content galore from Sydney. So it'll be another big weekend on the old Instagram and a bit of fun. And shit, I'm going to have a fair bit of work to do on the plane on the way back home. But that's race number 4, Royal Witness. It's number 2. I'd be playing a little bit each way.
Get the fuck out of here!
Again, please, just get the fuck out of here. No,
Okay.
don't, actually. I love your content. I love the heat you're bringing. Hey, something I wanted to mention as we kind of start to wrap this up. We've got a little more admin to get through just after this. But what I wanted to mention, and we're not going to do it this podcast because I want to dedicate a proper good slot to it. I want to find out from the people that matter in the Boys Get Paid community which horse, and we've highlighted Te Rapa Shark in depth, but what horse you're looking forward to seeing this spring. And one that I am absolutely fizzing for, and it might actually be close to your heart after your trip to Tassie, both of you lads. There's a junket that Benny did get the ticket to. Mystic Journey. Mystic Journey is also a horse that's resuming this Saturday. It's the PB Lawrence Stakes over at Caulfield, 1400. And Hartnell's in it with Huey Bowman. So Hugh's going down there. Trap for Fools is down there. Harlem's in it. Cliff's Edge, 50 stars. Again, it's another race with some quality racehorses in it. And Mystic Journey's the prohibitive favourite, $1.95.
Ooh, $2. Okay.
I'm thinking that's, again, some value. And I don't tip. I'm just the guy that pushes the buttons and does the speaking. But $1.95 for me. There we go. It actually was $1.85, then $1.90, and now it's sitting at $1.95. So I mean, I wouldn't say that should scare you off, but
should be Tasmania's Te Rapa Shark. You know, it's cool to see the little state plus New Zealand have 2 real big flag bearers. So I hope they can really kick some ass and run up to those odds.
Can I tell you, actually, just a little anecdote? I read this. So, I don't know if anybody listening knows Adam Trinder, the trainer of. I'm just going to read you these quotes, and this is what he's saying. And this reminds me of what we had Chris speaking about Te Rapa Shark as an owner. Just listen to the way he talks about his horse. When I was walking the track earlier in the day, this is about Mystic Journey eyeing a Cox Plate. The grandstands were already full of people in anticipation of Wicks's final Cox Plate. I've never seen anything like it on a racetrack before. It was just an honour to be a part of the day, and I thought to myself then that I'd love to come back in 12 months' time with a runner of my own. It's been a long-range plan with Mystic Journey, and while there's still a lot of water to go under the bridge between now and October 26, hopefully the plan can come to fruition. It will be interesting to see the makeup of the field, but I'm sure it will be incredibly competitive race as always with a very strong local international presence. There will be nowhere to hide, and we just hope that our filly can match up. I'm saying fuck yes she can, because I've seen, was it the Epsom that she won as well? Or the Australian Guineas maybe? I can't remember. But she's gone really, really well on the big stage, and with a trainer and attitude like that, I'm like far out. I've fallen in love with this horse.
I can relate to that. It's maybe Karaka Million's my horse. It's sometimes what I can see in the grandstands when walking down the straight here doing the old
Ray Warren type.
Yeah, going to have to fucking top that this year, which could be tough.
Rabbit, can we like fly you down on like a zip line or something?
Mate, don't worry. I'm already halfway through the thought process. But if anybody does want to call in, they just got to dial 027 424 3442. There may be somebody that wants to tell us about their horse of the spring or pitch us a bet, right? We never know. There's people listening. They might not have commented, but
true. Yeah,
if they do want to dial 027 424 3442, just Google my name. You'll probably find my number on there anyway. But yeah, that's the sort of passion that we need, right?
Oh, that's what I mean, and that just jogged my memory listening to Chris Russell talk about his Te Rapa Shark. And again, what did he keep calling himself? Was it Mud Punters? Was it
Mug Punters?
Mug Punters.
Yeah.
I mean, that's brilliant. I mean, clearly they're no mugs. They've got shares and like an absolute gun. But as far as passion and kind of also knowing the ability that you have and backing yourself home, it drives me crazy about New Zealanders. And I reckon you'd be the same as someone that, you know, what you deal with in your kind of professional life. Why do we seem to be so reluctant to back ourselves in? Like, why is it, as Kiwis, that we just struggle to scream from the rooftops, fuck yeah, we're awesome?
Oh, I'd say probably scared of being shown up or being shown to be wrong. which is kind of just lazy, I reckon. I heard someone speak during the week about how they think New Zealanders are arrogant because we're not loud about what we're good at, and they gave a really good example as they went to a show in Melbourne, and these kids performed for 2.5 hours, and at the end of it, everybody got up and at the end of it, everybody sat there and clapped, and he's from America, stood there with his wife, his kids, they all stood up and were clapping, like loving it, and he said, "You guys are so arrogant, you sit there and you can't acknowledge people have just poured their heart out for 2.5 hours, and you sit there being like, oh, don't look at me, I don't want to make too big of a scene."
Too humble.
Yeah, so I don't know, maybe a little bit of that. I guess Kiwis are naturally quite humble, and that's got its positives, but it's also got its downsides when it comes to actually being out there and promoting things that you care about.
Yeah, look, I understand that, and I can get that, but it does frustrate me. But that's why I just wanted to highlight, and I know Adam Trinder's not a Kiwi, but and neither is Chris
from
Russell.
Tasmania. So did that fall off the bottom of New Zealand, Tasmania? Or
That's what they reckon.
The Aussie?
Yeah. And apparently Chris is an Englishman, although he sounds... That guy sounded about as Aussie as they'd come, didn't he?
Hopefully he's tuned out by now, but yeah.
Nah, he would take it. He's down at Dirty Dillon's against Nutty. We'll forget by in a few hours' time.
Absolute champion.
We're humming along. No calls, are there?
Nope, no calls, which is, do you have a best bet or anything for the weekend, mate, or anything you'll be having to go at? What do you be, you'll be tipping the flat and a few of the lads at the AFL into something?
I'll probably be multiing together Mystic Journey and Te Rapa Shark, to be honest.
Yeah.
I'll probably be chucking those together. I mean, like two absolute studs, and they are running about that $2 mark or $2.20 each. I can't see... Well, I can see it going wrong. I can always see it going wrong. Far out has it gone wrong before. But, look, that really tempts me, and it's something I'm keen at. And you said yourself you're probably going to have a nibble at Te Rapa Shark.
Yeah, no doubt I'll be back in both of them. I'll probably take them in a multi and take them separately and see what one drifts out to, and just get way too deep and probably too desperate on Saturday.
He's on another level, this guy.
Who the fuck is that guy?
Yeah, it's Luke Kemeys. Yeah, how good's this? It's been the first Last League podcast, and as we just start to wind this up, I've had a lot of fun, and I like that thing you can do with your pencil and spin around on your thumb. It's
Thanks, mate.
Very exciting.
I learned at school.
Let me do that and some
math.
How to punt.
Yeah,
stats.
Calc.
Now, give me some admin because we've got a lot going on. Before we get out of here, tell us about the Karaka Million and tell us about anything else that you think is relevant.
There is so much going on. Karaka Million, we've already dusted through 200 tickets.
Wow.
And we haven't actually released those yet.
Do I need to buy a ticket? Is that something that I need to be doing? Because
Ben will shout you one on his new credit card that's coming. Yeah. Well, yeah, wouldn't you? You're going to want to get one because they're going to go. Yeah, I'm surprised at... I think what I've probably learned is that the Punters Club has been a great lead-in / excitement builder for people to go, holy shit, I don't want to be here on the couch next year. I want to be there live in the flesh and be a part of that. So... that's given us a great challenge to think about how we can make the day even better and how we can make the communication of the Punters Club even better. So a lot of this podcast and stuff that we're learning and figuring out now is actually in preparation for the Karaka Million so that we can be hosting the Punters Club with a lot richer content. You know, last year it was straight off the iPad. It's sitting in the corner. Someone had fucking snapped the stand before the first race went, and my heart was stressing out the bottom of my ass. And so we'll figure all that stuff out.
I mean, but look at the stuff we're doing here. Not to brag, but because it's none of my work. I mean, I'm just here. But like, this is the potential is untapped, isn't it?
That's right. Anything's possible these days. It's find the yes rather than that can't be done. So Karaka Million's going to be huge. We've got the punter of the group coming up on Cox Plate Day. I think there's about 25 teams locked in for that. So you'd be 1 in 25 chance of winning that at the moment. But I'd imagine that'll snowball to 100 teams come Cox Plate Day here, hosted by the Big East. That'll be a heap of fun. What else is going on? Keep an eye out for the app. That's not too far away, hopefully. We've got the raffle for this, obviously, whether you choose if you want paying your salary, mate.
Raffle money. Give us your money.
Good
raffle.
Good. That'll pay for 10 weeks of the podcast, hopefully. So that'll be drawn over the weekend. You still got today to get involved if you want to grab a ticket. That's boysgetpaid.com/raffle.
Give us your money. Yeah.
And you can choose between a weekend with us. I mean, who wouldn't want to pick that?
Is Paul going to be there?
Paul, you coming, mate? Yeah, I'm there. Paul's there. We go.
Paul's there.
We could make it a weekend.
I think that's the real. I think that's the seller.
Oh, I would have listened if you're going to be
There's no way Benny won't
Only
be there.
if Ben, yeah. So you can have the first four. You can be the fifth leg of the first four. So the quaddy plus one, and bring a mate. So it's a pick six.
It's actually a pick six. It's a pick six. We've got a
Bloody
fucking pick six. It's a pick. Fuck.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can swear in this, mate. It's great.
Yeah.
Fucking get into it. And or you can take away a BG paid number plate, which I know some people are pretty pumped about too. So we'll sign it all. We'll sign it.
You'll sign it.
Yeah.
Who, Paul?
We all will.
Why
Why not?
Maybe we'll get Opie Boston to sign it after he comes home on Te Rapa Shark, and you guys have a big win as well.
Not a bad option, that. So we'll draw that over the weekend and let somebody know who's won that. Looking forward to either hosting somebody or sending off that number plate to have on a car and get a photo of how that looks.
Hey, and before we play some of the sweetest tunes you'll ever hear, courtesy of George FM.
Oh, is that legal?
I don't know. Before we do that, a Karaka Million triggers my memory. Once again, our friends at Windsor Park jumping on board with this podcast from David Dallas
Day one.
Windsor Park stud. Huge shout out to you guys. Way to go.
Yeah, thank you.
Karaka Million. They've got a bit going on this year as well.
Yeah, well, that's right. So it's going to obviously be a big day on the track, and then they'll be taking their first yearlings for Turn Me Loose straight to the sales on the Sunday. Obviously, usually a little bit of a dusty day on the Sunday there, but we'll be turning up and watching a couple of those Turn Me Looses go through the ring. So getting excited about that, and yeah, let's just get excited.
You got that? You got that ready to go?
I don't know if I'm still connected.
I reckon you are, but I was going to hit this first because we've spent a lot of time. And again, shout out to the great man. Actually, before we go, I'm going to play you this.
I'm Darren Flindell, and you're listening to the Last League podcast with Boys Get Paid.
Give us one of those ones, Luke. Come on. Okay. Now, before we get out of here, I must say again, thank you so much. Ben Masters, supervising producer, Peter Jackson. CEO of the Big Easy, the Little Easy himself, P-Dub. David D. Dallas, Scribe, everyone involved at George FM for letting us use the... Nah, kidding, guys, but please, can we?
No legal letters.
The Last Leg podcast 1.0. We're going to be back. We're going to be better. We're going to be badder.
How often are we doing this?
As often
Whenever
as you want,
the fuck
mate.
we want.
Whenever the fuck you want, whenever the fuck I want, we're going to do this. We're going to have guests. Huge shout out Chris Russell. Huge shout out Te Rapa Shark. I reckon back him. You heard Neil Davis. The sectionals are good. Sexy looking horse, and I think he's going to come home.
Bring on spring racing.
iTunes, Apple,
Everywhere.
Spotify, iHeartRadio. Get on us. The Last Leg. Boys get paid.
Yo.